Hi, and welcome back. Well, I just want to take this opportunity to thank everybody for the tremendous support that I'm getting, specifically through Facebook Messenger, but through emails and face-to-face interaction that I have with people. I understand that it's difficult for me to answer some of your questions through these vlogs and through Messenger, but I'm actually writing the second book right now. And the book is going to be solely dedicated to the topics that have been brought up through Messenger and through the questions that I've gotten either face-to-face email or through other messaging apps. So please hold tight. The book should be out by the end of the summer. It's a process. This whole thing has been a process for me. I'm learning along the way, but I'm doing my very best to try to answer everybody's questions either through messaging or through these vlogs. On the topic of me learning, I learn something new about this Thoughts Becoming Things philosophy every single day. And in turn, I learn something new about myself. And I want to talk about a conversation, a meeting that I had with a friend of mine. It was very strange. I had been drawn to emailing him so I couldn't explain the reason. I knew I was going to be in his area. We're looking for a new physical office for our businesses. And I knew I was going to be in his area. So I thought I would email him and see if he was free for lunch. And he emailed me back. He's a very nice guy, and I enjoy the times that we speak. And he said, listen, Frank, I can't do lunch, but how about coffee? He said, meet me at my office. We'll find a place nearby, and we'll have coffee, and we'll talk. And I was very excited about it. So I went. We looked at the new location. It's everything we thought it would be. And on the way home, I stopped at his office and went to his office, and I had brought a book for him because I wanted to make sure that I gave him a signed copy of the book. I have that kind of relationship and that kind of respect for him, and he has given us a lot of guidance along the way, and I just wanted to let him know in some small way how much I appreciated that. So I had the book in my briefcase, and as I was driving up to his office, I saw a coffee place, and it looked like a pretty cool coffee place. So I parked next to that, and I thought, I'll just park my car here. I'll leave my briefcase with the book in it in my car, and I'll walk up to his office, and then he and I can walk back. And when we're done with coffee, I can get the book out of the briefcase and give it to him. Well, I was waiting in his office, and he wasn't there. And I thought, wow, this isn't really like him. I hope everything's okay. And about 15 minutes in, I got a phone call from him saying, hey, Frank, where are you? I'm at the coffee house down the street. I thought we were going to meet here. And we had never talked about the coffee house down the street. But I had parked there for whatever reason. And I told him, I'm parked right in front of it. Let me walk down. I'm going to get my briefcase. I'll come in. We'll have coffee. And I did exactly that. I walked down to the coffee house, got my briefcase, and sat down. Now, I had anticipated that we would talk for a while, and then on my way out, I would give him a copy of the book and see what he thought about it. But I was sitting there with my briefcase right in front of me, and I just reached into it and gave him the book. I said, listen, I want to give you a copy of this book. I wrote it. I'm very proud of it. I'd like to know what your thoughts are on it. And almost immediately his response was, wow, that's so weird. I'm thinking about writing a book myself, and this couldn't have come at a better time. And I thought to myself, timing, right? Timing and coincidence. I really don't believe in that stuff. But I kept my comments to myself because the top law of being a life coach is you don't offer information or you don't offer advice unless somebody asks for information or advice, and he hadn't, and he doesn't need my advice. So I just kind of kept my mouth shut. And the conversation turned towards business, and I was asking him questions about how he had grown his business. He's a brilliant businessman, and I was just really picking his brain. And as I heard him talk about all of these businesses that he had grown and sold off, I thought to myself, boy, that is thoughts becoming things in motion. You know, he kept saying, and coincidentally, or as luck would have it, things just kind of turned out. Things don't just work out, especially for people like that. He's a very bright man. He's very, very strong-willed man. And I knew as he was telling me these stories, he was making this happen. He was manifesting all of this stuff. So, and I didn't tell him that because it's really not my place to tell him that. And he wasn't really looking for advice. We were really just talking. So I asked him again to read the book and check out the vlogs and see what he thought. And we kind of left it at that. We walked out of the coffee house, and he went his way and I went mine. About 3 or 4 days later, I got an email from him. Listen, Frank, it was really nice talking to you. The book couldn't have come at a better time. The timing was perfect. And I just couldn't resist. And I emailed him back. Timing has nothing to do with it. You manifested that, much like you've manifested everything else in your life. And I learn from people like that. I learn from very strong-willed people. I like to think I'm a strong-willed person. I like to think that I accomplish a lot, but there's always somebody that you can learn from. And he is one of those people, and we have learned so much from him. And what I learned during that conversation, forget about all the business advice that he gave me, that was invaluable. What I learned was how his mind operates and how he, with his unwavering faith and unwavering knowledge and intent that things are going to go well for him, has manifested things to go well for him. He's doing it right now. He's manifesting another great project. And I'm watching him do that, and I'm thinking to myself, he's doing this in his head. He's making this happen by tapping into the universal substance, and he's actually intending for all of this to happen, and he's making it happen. He's manifesting all of these amazing things. So I sent him that email telling him, listen, timing has nothing to do with it. Coincidence has nothing to do with it. You're making this happen. And I don't know if he realized that or not. I'm sure he did, but it made me realize that. It made me realize how truly successful people think and how they operate and how they manifest things. And I've manifested a lot of great things. My business partner, Michael, and I have manifested a lot of great things, but we still look for the opportunity to learn from people, not just on the business side, but on the thought process side, about how people process thought, about how they make things happen for themselves. So I recommend that to you. If you ever have the opportunity to talk to a really successful person, kind of pick their brain, kind of ask them, how did you become successful? How did you accomplish this? How did you accomplish that? And my guess is, in most cases, they just intended for it to happen. They believed in themselves. They had faith in themselves and in a process, the process, and they were grateful for what they had. And they, by doing all of that, manifest great things. Timing, coincidence, the perfect storm, none of that stuff has anything to do with it. You do it yourself. You have total control. It has nothing to do with timing. Could you imagine a world where you had to rely on timing and coincidence? You'd never get anything. And if you did, it would just be by happenstance or luck. And I don't believe in those either. I think you make your breaks by manifesting what you want out of life. Well, I hope you keep tuning into these vlogs. I'm having a ball doing them. As always, we are on www.thoughtsbecomingthings.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, Thoughts Becoming Things. And I hope you keep tuning into these vlogs. And I hope you keep keeping your faith. Thanks.